back to your practice.
What if your patients were so loyal, they would never even consider going anywhere else? And what if it was as simple as this electric toothbrush?
And that's why we created Sauna, the newest way to get your patients coming back by extending your care beyond the chair.
Let's face it, patients do not think about you the second they walk out your door because they're indifferent.
Then it's just a matter of time before an indifferent patient doesn't come back.
Give your patients a reason to care. That's what Zana does.
How? By giving your patient an electric toothbrush, private labeled, so you can stay in front of them 2 times a day, 7 days a week.
And get your patients actually excited to come back to your practice because you're going to give them free toothbrush replacement heads for life.
Stay in front of your patients.
Give them a reason to come back.
Join Zana today, the electric toothbrush program redefined.
And get your patients coming back by extending your care beyond the chair.
At Paradise Dental Technologies, we're passionate about creating instruments that increase clinician comfort through smart ergonomics. Our instruments improve efficiency with better blade and handle design and enhance durability by using only the best materials and metallurgical processes. From hygiene to surgical to fully loaded instrument kits, we have a comprehensive selection of the most superior hand instruments to suit your practice's every need. We observe and research professional and patient needs in order to innovate and design the best instruments available. Paradise Dental Technologies, home of the Montana Jack and countless other life-changing instruments.
They said it couldn't be done.
Run your own practice?
And manage your front office?
Impossible!
But they are fools.
Begin!
It took years of training.
No shows! Cancellations! Do not file the form! Be the form! Send me a message with your mind! They can hear it when you smile!
But it all led here to become the ultimate dental professional.
Dude, you could have just got Casper.
Or you could just get Casper. Finally, your dental management all in one.
Hello?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Trey Tepichin. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Cloud Dentistry and your host for this afternoon session of Dentistry's Got Talent. Let's make some noise. Who's excited here? Come on. Excellent, excellent. So everyone that's watching live, there should be a link to sign in. So you have about 10 minutes to sign into the course to get CE credit. So everyone pay attention to that link, get signed in. That's the first order of business. Next order of business is these are free CEs, guys. That's huge. There's 11 free CEs that we're getting, and it was courtesy of NDX DSG Labs. They are the largest network of dental labs in the nation. So let's give a big round of applause to our sponsor, NDX DSG Labs. They're amazing. Thank you. I'm so thrilled to be hosting. Cloud Dentistry's mission statement is to empower people to have thriving careers. And so I was very, very honored when they asked me to host this event, because what better way to empower the dental community than to host and bring you guys some of the most amazing speakers in the dental industry. I'm so pumped to kind of see what we're going to have in store for us today. Please, don't be stingy with these free CEs, okay? These are free CEs. I want everyone to get on their Facebook accounts or Instagram accounts right now and share it with at least one group, Don't spam it though. We don't want you sharing it with 10 or 15 groups, but spread the love, okay? These are free CEs. We want to empower the dental community, so spread the word. Share the link, get it out there. We want as many people attending as possible. All right, well, we already introduced our judges earlier today. So let's give a big round of applause to our judging panel. It's a fantastic panel of experts over here. Don't go too hard on these speakers, guys.
We're trying not to.
All right, well, without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to this judges panel. They're going to announce our first speaker, and we'll take it from there. Good luck, guys. Take care.
Hey, guys. Good afternoon, everybody. So today we're going to be talking about marketing for your dental practice. Marketing is vital to a thriving practice. Learn ways to market while giving back and creating a healthy mental environment. It doesn't have to be difficult. Incorporate your team, video, and charity to get the best results with your marketing effort. Without further ado, we want to welcome our first speaker, Ashley Kittle. Let your culture do your marketing. Ashley Kittle works as the Director of Programs for Delivering WOW. She specializes in marketing and practice management and works with practices every day on growth opportunities. Prior to working for Delivering WOW, she gained experience in the field by working in a busy dental practice for nearly 4 years. So let's give her a warm welcome, and good luck, Ashley.
Have you ever been to an event where you were blown away? I have. October 2019, Smiles at Sea, my first introduction to this fantastic world where education meets fun. Many of you here have been to the Dental Festival before or to Smiles at Sea, and so you know what I'm talking about. A lot of industries right now are struggling to host events, but not my friend, Mr. Elijah Desmond. There's a reason for that. You see, Elijah had a vision, and to make that dream a reality, he put together a rock star team. You've seen them. They're dancing, they're excited, they're happy to be here. He took that team and then he built systems and processes to build an experience not only highly educational, but one that we'll never forget. Lastly, he has the social proof necessary because everybody knows if you want to have a good time, all you have to do is come down to Florida and hang out with us. There's a lot that we can learn from Elijah. When he calls upon the dental community to come to an amazing event, the dental community says yes. And if you follow these systems, your leads will say yes too. I love marketing. I'm a marketer by trade, and I understand it can be frustrating. Oftentimes, people put money into marketing with little ROI. But I want to challenge your thinking. If you're able to address your culture first, modify the patient experience, and then invest in your marketing, well, you've maximized your investment. So today, I'm going to talk about how to build that cultural foundation. Next, I'll share how to apply that to the patient experience. And lastly, we'll talk about the importance of social proof. Now, I know what you may be thinking. Culture is a soft skill. We need to focus on productivity and results. But consider this. Statistics show that right now, our team members spend 4 hours per week actively engaged in conflict or thinking about conflict. That's 2 weeks per team member per year that you've lost. For office managers, that statistic is even higher. So that's money that you've lost where your culture suffers. That's turnover that you can't catch up on. What if I said that by developing your culture, you could keep your team happy, productive, meet your goals, and create a marketing experience unlike any other? So, culture is the basis of everything in your practice. Why are we not talking about it? We are today. Now, as a leader, how you communicate with your team and vice versa is the foundation of culture. There needs to be what's called vulnerability-based trust. So, can your team come to you with their personal failures? Perhaps most importantly, can you do the same? It must be reciprocal because oftentimes leaders and dentists are put on a pedestal. And if we break down those barriers, we're able to make our culture and team even stronger. The next point that I'd like to talk about goes back to empowerment. So dentists, I'm talking to you. You have 1,000,001 things on your plate, and I get that. How great would it be if you could spend your time in the chair doing what you love instead of the things you don't like to do and probably aren't very good at, right? So you need to foster an environment that promotes growth, and you need to be able to let these things go. And what I've learned along the way is that when you give someone something new to do, they probably won't do it in a way you find satisfactory the first time, or frankly, even the second time. But you can choose to snatch it back up and have it done your way, or you can let it go and trust the process. You can love on your team, you can train them and trust in them. One gets you results quicker, but one protects the longevity of your team and your culture. The next point I want to talk about goes back to philosophy. Dentists, what is your mission, your vision, and your core values? I want you to consider, why are you in dentistry in the first place? It's been a huge lifelong investment. I want you to share your why with your team and celebrate it, and they'll appreciate you for it. What are your core values? Every day is an opportunity to make an example of them. We can't simply put them up on the wall and walk away. No. They're an accountability tool for you and your team. So we have communication, philosophy, empowerment. That's a winning combination. Pair that with some systems and processes, and you have an experience that everyone will rave about. That 2 weeks per team member you lost last year, this is the kind of stuff that will prevent that from happening. By creating a positive work environment, your team will be more motivated to serve hard and deliver to your patients. So next, we're going to talk about how we're going to do that with the patient experience. I'm not going to talk much about what you should be doing. Scented towels and iPads are wonderful, but what's most important is the consistency. Do you have the right people in the right seats delivering exceptional care to your patients every single time? Here's an example of a tool you can use. One thing that I recommend is that you have your team write down everything they do daily, weekly, monthly, and this is used for accountability, consistency, and training. Here's an example. You have Mary, your front desk concierge, and she calls patients on their birthday. Well, Mary has to go on vacation. So this is where communication and empowerment really matters. We need to be able to communicate our needs to our team with that list, but also be able to empower them and understand they're probably not going to do it the same way Mary did it, but that patient's going to appreciate it no matter what. The next point I wanted to bring up has to do with sociology. There is a component called front stage versus backstage. And in this theory, the front stage is where patients are present, and the backstage is where patients are not. So in this instance, I would want all team members to pretend that they're always in the front stage, the center stage, if you will, and always pretend that a patient is around even if they're not. That means that your patients and your team will notice your attention to detail and that fabulous smile. So now that we've talked about applying culture to the patient experience, I want to explain why social proof is so important and tie this whole thing together. So social proof is a concept by Robert Cialdini, and it says that we look to others to see how to behave. So I don't know about you guys, but when I want to go to a new restaurant, I don't look at the restaurant's website. What do I look at? Reviews. So how do you achieve social proof? There's 1,000,001 ways. As my coach Catherine says, there's a lot of right ways to do things. So social media engagement, testimonials, targeting current patients and ads, that's my favorite. But why is this important? When you build a patient experience that's exceptional and you have a culture where your team is motivated and willing to do the work, your patients are going to do all the work that you need for your marketing. They're going to tell everybody. And isn't that what you want? Wouldn't you rather invest in your team than invest marketing dollars? And this is how. So I have a lot of doctors that come to me and they say, Ashley, I've worked really hard in my marketing and I've paid a lot of money and it's not working. What's going on? But they have cyclical turnover and their culture is suffering. You have to focus on your culture first before making any investment elsewhere in the practice, or else it's not going to work. And that's what I love about Elijah, is that he focused on culture first. He built his team, and then he built the social proof, because we all know these events are, right? So, we've talked a lot today about building your culture and about applying it to the patient experience, and lastly, the importance of social proof. Now, I've spoken with Elijah about this, and he told me that there have been some roadblocks along the way, and the same goes for you in your journey, and that's okay. But like I said, he built the systems first, then he relied on social proof, and that's what's most important. If you do the same, your leads will say, yes, just like all of you said yes to Elijah. And I want to give him a shout out because he really exemplifies team culture. When we came in the other day and he came up on stage and it was the big welcome, it was so exciting, the first thing he did was invite his team on stage and give them a round of applause. So just like you said yes to Elijah, your leads will say yes to you. And just like the Dental Festival, your practice will thrive. Thank you very much.
That you said, which was before we put any marketing dollars into actual physical marketing, that we should invest in our teams. And I can tell you firsthand that that's what helps make our practice really successful, is that we invest in our team members and we make them feel like they're part of the team. And their opinion is valued and their thoughts are understood. And we try to show our patients that we're all one big unit. So I think that was really powerful. And I loved your confidence when you delivered it. I loved your attitude. And I know that you're doing awesome at delivering wow, and that it's all coming from the heart. So great job.
Thank you.
Yeah, I enjoyed your presentation. As a marketer and somebody who thinks culture is so important, it was great to hear what you had to share. I think not only did you own the stage, demonstrating front of stage, back of stage, and really just commanding your presence was amazing. I really enjoyed the message of you can't have current patients becoming, these passionate evangelists if they're coming into a place that's not warm and welcoming and they're not experiencing something amazing. Really well put together. Enjoyed the entire presentation.
Thank you.
I love how you opened the speech with something that we could all relate to by sharing an experience that we all just...
I think that stands for fear, uncertainty, and doubt. We'll have Sarah clarify that. Many dental practices struggle with patient attraction strategies and differentiating themselves from the dentist down the street. Sarah has expertise in developing detailed marketing plans that showcase dentists' authentic voice, combined with her track record of propelling practices to achieve success through marketing, so practices can attract the patients they deserve. Sarah, welcome.
Freddie Mercury famously said, "We are the champions," and he was right. Everyone in this room is a champion of something. There's something in your life that has pushed you to where you are. There's something in your life that causes passion and pulls you towards it. And when you can articulate what you champion for and why, your team will be able to tell that story. And your marketing will also tell that story. And today, I'm gonna prove it. I bet there are many of you in this room that have been burned at some point in your career by marketing. The FUD, better known as fear, uncertainty, and doubt, comes from a place of being burned or hearing stories of others being burned. Unfortunately, some of these stories are true. People have taken your money and they've called with promises that often fall short. So why doesn't marketing work? Well, because there's no distinction. It feels salesy because it's not coming from a place of passion. How many Facebook ads do you skip, and then you land? So what makes you skip, and then land? Often, there's something in the story that's unique. Usually, there's something that gives you pause. Or it could be a great cat video. I mean, who here doesn't love a great cat video? Am I right? When marketing doesn't work, over time, we resist marketing altogether. And that is what creates the fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Because the truth is, you have created fear, uncertainty, and doubt with your marketing to the public. And now in return, you have fear, uncertainty, and doubt about marketing. Are you all still with me? What I want to give you today is the one piece that's missing. What if I told you that the reason this is happening and will continue to happen is because you've missed the one foundational piece? We've simply skipped it. When a marketing company doesn't start here first and get to the truth of this question, you cannot possibly leverage your marketing investment for the future. The one thing that's missing, the foundational question you have to answer is, what are you a champion for? What are you a champion for? And when you can answer that question, and it's true to your core, and your team knows that story, your marketing will thrive almost effortlessly. Can your team tell the story of your passion and your business? If they can't, you are missing out on a foundation of the best marketing plan. That is why marketing companies can't help you, because they too don't know your story. And without that, you are simply another dentist that does implants. The great news is, I'm going to share with you today 2 examples of people who know exactly what they champion for, and they have the foundation of the marketing plan, which leads to ultimate success. I have the pleasure of working with Dr. Dave Dill. He has a practice in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and has been practicing for many years. However, about 10 years into his practice, he felt like he was on the hamster wheel and was exhausted. He had to come to a crossroads because he was advertising $69 new patient specials and everything in between. He really needed to be clear about who he was. So who is Dr. Dill? Dr. Dill is a strong Christian believer and wants every patient to have hope for their smile, because at his core, who he is, his faith gives him hope. Dr. Dill gives back by going on mission trips to provide dentistry to those who can't afford it or don't even have access to it. Dr. Dill is a champion of hope, and every patient feels it every time they call the practice, schedule an appointment, and share their beautiful smile with the world. He no longer does any marketing specials. The only thing that we do is market his message of hope. And I am lucky enough that I get to weave that into every social media platform, website, podcast interview, and television commercial. He is a champion of hope, and he has patients coming to him saying, "You are the guy, I trust you." I also have the pleasure of working with Dr. Bridget Lervik. She has a practice in Minnesota. She is a wife, a mother, and a fantastic dentist. When Dr. Lervik had her first child, she struggled like many mothers do with nursing. After several months of frustration, she discovered that her baby had a tongue tie. Dr. Lervik was devastated that as a dentist, she didn't catch this sooner. She performed a baby frenectomy, and it was a different nursing experience from that moment on. Dr. Lervik realized that there are so many women and mothers who don't know that this is a problem. So she spends her time in her community and working with many mom groups, helping to educate so that they too know how to help. Dr. Lervik is a champion of mothers and baby frenectomies. She has changed so many people's lives because of her story. She shares her story all over her social media, all over her digital advertising, because that's what makes that connection. She is a leader in her community, and her team knows her story and knows exactly how to provide the support and the empathy every time that patient calls. Dr. Lervik is a champion of mothers and baby frenectomies. I've shared with you 2 examples of 2 people who are so authentically true to who they are, and they are living their passion. Their teams know how to use that story to explain why their doctor is so good at what they do, why their doctor is a leader in their field, and that drives more business than they know what to do with. Listen, it doesn't matter what your story is, as long as you are crystal clear about what it is. When stories are different, that's what creates the uniqueness that people are looking for. This is really simple to do. It comes down to 2 foundational steps. The first is you need to identify what you are uniquely passionate about and what you champion above everything else and why. Maybe you love to do implants. Maybe it's ortho. Maybe it's all on 4s or even endo. Whatever it is that you come to work and you see on your schedule and you love to do. What do you love to have continuing education about? What gives you joy? Doesn't matter what it is, as long as you are clear on what it is. Clarity wins the marketing game. Second thing, you need to tell your story to your team first, then your patients and prospective patients second. Listen, you guys have an entire army of salespeople waiting to shout from the rooftops what you champion, why you're unique, and what makes you different. But they have to know the story. So you have to tell them the story. Schedule a meeting with your team as soon as possible to get that fire started. I'm gonna ask you the question again. What are you a champion for? If that took you longer than a few seconds, you've got some thinking and some work to do before you spend thousands of dollars on marketing. As I've been talking today, there may be some of you that are clear on what you're a champion for. Others may not know. But the great news is that there are people like me who can help discover what you're a champion for just by answering a few simple questions. So it's okay to be stuck, but there's no excuse for staying stuck. The minute you know what you champion for and your team knows that story, now your marketing is off and running. Now your marketing and your practice will thrive. Thank you.
Wow, Sarah, I think you did a great job.
Thank you.
I really enjoyed what how you brought everything back together. What are we a champion of? And when we have that clear expectation of ourselves, our teammates and our colleagues in the office are going to resonate with our message, and ultimately our patients are going to feel our message. So I really loved your attitude. I loved your confidence. I think you did a great job.
Thank you.
It's very obvious that you are enthusiastic about this subject, that you truly love it, that this is what you just enjoy talking about. I was hoping I was going to find out what you were a champion for. It's probably this.
Tomorrow
Okay.
You will find
That's
out what
the
I'm a
secret.
champion
It's coming.
for. Yep.
I knew it.
Bring me back and I'll tell you.
There it is. I think it's amazing how so often in our profession we forget that before we were whatever our title is, we were human. And a big part of what we need to do in our businesses is bring that human piece back. And so I think that is at the core of what you were sharing, and I think that you're helping doctors do that, helping them be more human in their practice and make real connections before they worry about what they're marketing, worry about what they are. I think it was amazing. Great presentation.
Thank you.
Sarah, you're a rock star. I felt like you were born to be up there. You were so relaxed, so poised, so confident. It was really a joy to watch you. And I felt your energy up there the entire time. You kept us engaged. I loved your tonality when you really slowed down at the very end, when you really kind of left us waiting for a second. I was like, what's going to happen next? It was really, really effective. And I really enjoyed your speech structure. I loved how you baked in the stories. I loved how you gave us the points to take home. And I really loved how you wrapped it all up at the end. So really well done.
Thank you.
All right, so anybody who starts out quoting Freddie Mercury and Queen has got my attention. I just got to tell you that much. But great job, Sarah.
Thank you.
Your content flowed. It was really clear and structured. You were clearly very relaxed on stage. Your voice, I think you're very easy to listen to, the pitch and the pacing. And what I thought about was that you gave us enough time, you went at a slow enough pace for us to really think and let the principles land. Sometimes we go too fast and our audiences just want us to take a break for a second. So that was really well delivered. I love that you included stories and examples. That was really strong. And that circular construction of bringing us back to what are you a champion of was just real perfect. So great job. Really loved it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
So before we welcome up our next guest, we're going to only be doing 2 judges' comments per speaker, just so we can stay on track, okay? So don't think all the judges don't want to give you guys great feedback, but just so we can stay on track, every speaker is just going to have 2 comments, and then we'll switch. So we'd like to welcome up our next speaker, Dr. Simone Ellis, The Balancing Act of Practice Management and Mental Health. Known for her captivating smile and her realistic perspective in dentistry, Dr. Ellis is the real deal. Owner of Smile Design Studios in Missouri City, Texas. As one of 9 successful Black women CEOs and entrepreneurs, you should know by forharriet.com and a leading authority of dental practice management. Dr. Simone earned her BS from Xavier University of Louisiana and her DMD from UMDNJ, now Rutgers. So wow, fellow New Jersey person. What's up, what's up? All right, Dr. Ellis.
Well, thank you guys for all having me here today. My name is Dr. Simona Ellis, and I am super excited to be on a stage with so many great speakers. When Elijah asked me to come on, I was super excited, and then when he said it was a competition, I was like, are we doing Squid Games? Because I do not know how to do red light, green light. I'm super glad that I haven't seen any of those competitions going on, so I feel like I can do my speech pretty well. So today, guys, we're going to be talking about the balancing act and how to keep mental health, which is super important. I'd like to give a little bit of information about myself. I was born and raised in Kansas City, Kansas, and I am the oldest of 3, and my mother was my high school principal. So as you guys can imagine, I did take my mom to prom. And then my father was a postal worker, so Christmas was like living with the Grinch. He did also, though, teach me a lot about work ethic, and both of my parents really inspired me to be a very hard worker. So, of course, me being the person that I am, I took the lessons that they taught me, went to dental school, and knew that I needed to open my practice. 1 year out of dental school, I knew how to work and keep working and keep working. And I remember as a kid asking my father, you know, why is it that we don't take any vacations? Why do I see you in the car for hours just decompressing your day? And he told me one thing. He said, Simone, you wait to enjoy your life when you retire. So, taking what my father said to be true, I decided to keep working super hard. And my father and mom finally got a chance to retire, and they moved to Texas. And I was super excited because now I get an opportunity to see my father live his best life. And I'll never forget the day. It's been a year since he's moved to Texas, and I get a call. I'm having a meeting with my team. Simone, I need you to stop everything. Your father has had a stroke. Okay, that's not supposed to happen because my dad has worked really hard. He's now living the life that he should have. I know he's not balanced, but I know he's supposed to be now getting a chance to enjoy this life. Simone, I don't think you heard me. Your father has had a stroke. So I rushed to the hospital, only to see that I have 1 week left to spend with my father. So then, of course, as you can imagine, now my foundation is rocked, because how is it that this person has worked and spent his tireless time working so hard to be the man that I knew and admired, only to have it all gone within a year? Something's not correct. So today my goal is that I realize that he wasn't balanced, and he was out of shape. I was out of shape. How I had been taught was out of shape. How I was working hard was not in balance. And so today, my goal is to get everybody inspired and encouraged and motivated on how to run a practice, but to be in shape. So let's talk about that. Well, let's first start off with the S, which is strategy and systemization. As any business owner can tell you, we sometimes have a system going great, and then sometimes we wake up in the middle of the day and running with our heads cut off because we haven't strategized our systems properly. I realize when I see my husband at home playing video games and I have come home from a tooth terror day, something is not right. And so I realized that having strategies and systems in play not only helped me personally, but also helped my business continue to grow professionally. So now taking Sundays as an opportunity to actually monetize and strategize how I'm supposed to do my day makes a huge difference for my week. So I encourage you guys, if you do not have strategies and systems help give us peace of mind and help us stay balanced. The next is H, and I know all of us are tired of hearing that saying, health is wealth, but it is so true. Healthier people are more creative, more impactful, more inspiring. So therefore, you're able to market your practice better if you have a better sense of health. Did you guys know that 97.3% of Americans are getting a failing grade in health? Did you guys also know that we rank number 3 in depression, right behind India and China? So to me, that's problematic because that says to me that we are not living healthier lives. And how and what's the purpose of building practices and living our dreams if we are going to pass away within a year? That doesn't make sense. That doesn't sit well with me. So I started to have to live my life a little bit healthier because I realized how important it was for me to run my practice and be successful and to be healthy. So guys, health is wealth. You know that on that shirt. They're saying it to be true. Next is A, attitude and aptitude. When all these things were starting to happen in my life and to go in a different direction, I realized how stressed out I was becoming. And I realized that negativity was meeting me at the footsteps of my bed. So I started to incorporate a couple of positive things to help me be a better leader for my team, for people who needed me, for my patients who needed me. I would put my headphones by the bed. I was listening to YouTube. I would listen to podcasts on my way to work because I knew that I needed to continue to foster a more positive environment, a more positive spirit. And so guys, I encourage you, if you have a positive attitude, it's going to take us to a different altitude. And that helps us, of course, running our practices and our businesses to the next level. The next thing is P, with passion and purpose. And one of the things I like to say is that purpose without passion is pointless. Have you asked yourself the other day, what is your why? Why are we doing all of these things? For me, giving the best care to my patients is my why. For me, being the best for my family is my why. For me, being the best wife I can be is my why. And I encourage each and every one of you guys, if you're not engaged with what you're doing, if you do not know your why, you come to events like this that get you around other doctors, other providers, other healthcare people that keep you inspired, encouraged, and motivated. Because we have a lot on our plate and we have a lot to be responsible for. So passion and purpose go hand in hand. And the last thing is E, which is extracurricular. When is the last time any of you guys picked up a new hobby? When is the last time you explored something different? When is the last time that you connected with someone new? It is so important for us to foster these extracurricular things because it helps us to be creative. And that, to me, helps us to stay balanced and humble. I'd like to share another story. I had the opportunity of having a surprise wedding this year where my family and friends did not know that they were attending a wedding, and they came, they saw me get married, and we had an amazing time. And I got an opportunity to go to Kenya for my honeymoon. And I met a gentleman on that trip who had a very, very great positive disposition about his life. He seemed to be very balanced. And we were talking about income, and one of the things that I asked him was well, how much is it that you live off of for a week? And he said, I feed my family off of $10 a week. What that did for me was give me a balance of how I have so much to look forward to at work. And sometimes when I think things are going crazy and wrong, perspective. It gave me great perspective. And so I was able to take all of those things to help me become a more balanced individual. And so now I can lead my team. I can lead my patients to the best care because I am more balanced. So I think about this story again, and if my father was here today, I'd like to take a moment to have a conversation with him. Dad, you can have everything that you want with balance. Dad, with being in shape, you can do all the things that you have been. You don't have to wait until it's over. I'm thankful for all that you have taught me, but I think you got it wrong, Dad. Because without being balanced, without having that mental health, without being, you can have everything that you ever wanted, Dad, but you have to have better systems and strategies in play. You have to have a better outlook on life, knowing that you deserve the best of your life. You have to have your passion and your purpose together, Dad. And spend some time enjoying yourself, because you've worked so hard for it. Thank you, guys. I wasn't supposed to cry like that. I'm sorry.
So, Dr. Ellis, first of all, what a way to represent New Jersey.
I know, right? Come on, you, Jay.
We don't have much talent that comes out of New Jersey, so you're so talented and so gifted. It's like a big honor for me to be in your presence, you know? But no, seriously, you did amazing, and passion and purpose and clarity are all critical things that we need in our life. And I just felt so empowered and motivated from you, because I feel like your passion and your purpose can change every single day. You know, and every single day you have to wake up and ask yourself, what is my passion? What is my purpose for today? You know, and if we just get used to whatever we do every single day, you're going to run out of passion and purpose. And that was my take-home message from your speech, is that every single day I'm going to wake up and ask myself, what's my passion and my purpose for today? And like you said, I think that's going to help us live our best life. I loved your presentation. I just loved how organized it was. I love how you're able to wrap all your ideas and bring them back together. And I really mean it. I really felt motivated from you to really wake up every single day and ask myself, what's my passion and what's my purpose? So thank you for being vulnerable and emotional and sharing with us some really intimate things about your life. And I think we'll be seeing you tomorrow.
Thank you.
So I'm just really grateful that Kareem went first, because I would have been tearing up with you. I was really, I had goosebumps. I had the emotional tears right along with you. And so thank you for being vulnerable. Thank you for sharing your story. It was really powerful. This topic is one of my favorite topics. It's very near and dear to my heart. And I felt like you displayed it with such positivity and energy that it was really contagious. Like we talk about how energy and positivity is contagious, and I really felt it, and I think the other judges did too. I loved your speech structure. I loved the stories. I loved how you started it and then wrapped it all back around. And I really think that everyone at this conference, everyone in our industry needs to hear this message. So thank you for sharing it so beautifully today.
Thank you. And I'm sorry for being a crybaby. I apologize. Thank you, guys.
So our final speaker for this segment is Laura Nadler. Are you ready for your close-up? Laura Nadler is the founder of Working Cat Marketing, which helps dental practices go from found to 5 stars. She speaks internationally, including at the ADA, ACP, Tufts, and Boston University. She is the author of Lights, Camera, You, a practical guide for creating and using video to market your practice. Welcome.
Appreciate that. Hi, I'm Laura, and by saying that, I've met most of you just now for the very first time. So the next thing I'm going to say is a really big ask. I'm going to ask you to trust me. I hope this is a safe place for 30 seconds with your eyes closed. So when I tell you to, I want you to think about that place. Maybe you call it your happy place, maybe it's your paradise, but that place you just want to be, that you can visualize perfectly. Are you willing to do that with me? Thank you. Right now, close your eyes and picture that place. If it happens to be in the mountains skiing, I don't want you to tell me that the snow is white. I want you to see how the sun is glinting off of it and creating that dazzling silver. Maybe your happy place is right outside the hotel at the ocean, and I don't want you to tell me the water's blue. I want you to see that aqua as it's close to the shore and how it fades into that deep azure as we get further to sea. I know that for me, my happy place right now is my own home, because this is my favorite season. I love the light of autumn and the way it pours into the windows and makes everything look warm and inviting. Are you in your happy place right now? Can you see it in detail? Open your eyes. Did you get there? Did everyone see it? You can say yes, it's okay, it's a safe place. It's amazing that in 30 seconds, you could transport yourself to another place just with visuals. Do you know what else happened in those 30 seconds? 350,000 people went somewhere else by watching a video on YouTube. That equates to 1 billion people a day who consume content on that platform. Now, if you're a dental practice, I'm looking at you, Kareem, are you taking advantage of those billion people? I mean, taking advantage in the nice way, of course. Do you have video content up there? Can people find you? And most importantly, can they hear your story? We have all heard that a picture is worth 1,000 words. Well, I will tell you, a video is the Encyclopedia Britannica, because we all have a story that we need to tell, and that's the most engaging way for us to attract new patients and keep patients engaged with our practice. We all have bios. I'm sure you have them on your website now. They list all the places you went to school and all the wonderful associations you belong to. But the part people read is the part about what you do when you're not being a dental hero, whether that's paragliding or whatever it is you do in your life, because that's what makes you a human. So today I want to talk to you about the 5 videos you absolutely must have to market your practice. Now, I call these videos, and pretty much everybody in the business will say these are your evergreens. That means they're going to be around for a long time. The message is going to be there for a while because it's going to be about you and your team and your practice. You can certainly make these in your practice, but I would also recommend that if your marketing budget allows it, have them professionally produced, because they're going to be your calling card to the world for quite some time. So, the first video I want you to make, everybody say it with me, it's meet the... Everybody says doctor. But Kareem, you told us before, who do we invest in? The team. And I got news for you guys. The second most clicked on page on a dental website after the home page is meet the team. That's who people actually want to get to know. Who's going to clean my teeth? Who's going to make my appointment? Who's going to take my money? So we want to know who your team is. So quick little tips on how to create that video. The rule of 3s. Who are you? What do you do here? And why do you love it here? Hi, I'm Holly. I'm the hygienist. And I love working at Dr. Griffith's practice because everyone here makes me feel like family. Now, I want each person on the team to be able to answer those questions to camera. But I also want you to capture what we call in the business B-roll footage. Now, B-roll footage is that stuff you see that tells your story without words. It's you interacting with a patient. It's you explaining some x-rays. It's the things you do naturally every day. That also makes it easier for the folks you're filming to feel comfortable, because it's not all me to camera. Nobody's comfortable with that. But they're comfortable doing their normal day-to-day things. Typically, you want to have anywhere from 4 to 5, 6 at the maximum people in that sort of video. If you have a very large team, split it up. Meet the clinical team, meet the admin team. But go on that basis of 4 to 6 maximum in any video and keep it to 2 minutes or less. Now, docs, it's your turn. We're going to make our second video meet the doc. And although we're going to follow that same format of 2 camera footage and B-roll footage, and we're going to talk about the rule of 3s, it's a little different rule. This is who I am. You guys already know what I do. I'm the dentist. I told you that. But now I want to hear your story. Why did you become a dentist? Were you in middle school and you took a soccer ball to the face, and now you're wildly embarrassed at this wonderful V that your 2 front teeth made, and there was that dentist who was able to fix it and change your whole middle school experience? Or were you terrified of the dentist and a really great dentist made you feel comfortable, made you feel welcome, and you said, this is what I want to do? Your why and your story need to be in your Meet the Doctor video. Because again, they love your degrees, but they want to know you. Our third video is the most compelling video of all of them, and this is patient testimonials. Now, I hope that every week somebody in your office is busting out their iPhone saying, Mrs. Jones, were we fabulous? Tell us we were fabulous. And that you're posting that on all your social media content, because regular reviews are wonderful for people to see. But in this professionally produced group, I'd like you to get in maybe 3 patients who tell their stories about how you did a smile makeover and it transformed their lives, or how you got their kid in at Sunday at 2 o'clock in the morning after an accident and were able to fix that tooth. Those are the things that compel patients to engage with your practice. Now, here's a pro tip. All those patients who you were getting B-roll footage of earlier in your Meet the Doc and Meet the Team, guess who they were? These patients. Don't do this over 1 million different days with 1 million different people. Use the folks you have there in the practice, because you know who they are. They already know you, they love you, they trust you, and they're going to be more likely to want to kind of go on this little play journey with you and create your videos. So get those folks who've been with you forever, who've referred their entire family, who are willing to say, you're fabulous. The fourth one is tour of the office. Now, tour of the office can go a lot of different ways, but here's how I don't want it to go. I don't want us to pick up our little camcorder and go, here's the reception area, here's the front desk, this is a bathroom, here's our lab. It's not a real estate video, folks. I want to know what makes your practice different and awesome. Have a cappuccino machine in the front room? Show me somebody pulling a cappuccino, not just the machine. You've got a CEREC, show me it doing its thing. Most importantly, show me your office with the humans in it who make it your practice. Because we humans, we like humans. It's a human thing. We want to connect with each other, and seeing those people in your practice is what will help people connect, and not just be, here's all the rooms in our building. Now, the very last one is actually the easiest one to make, and it's called the hero video. And the reason it's so easy to make is we're going to take all that B-roll footage we collected and take the best moments, those moments where we were greeting a patient at the front desk, where we were laughing with someone, where a patient was nodding while we were going over the x-rays. This is a 30-second loop with no audio, and it usually plays at the top of your website. You've seen these before. It's a continuous loop. But bonus on this one, with almost no extra work, you can do a voiceover audio and turn that into a 30-second commercial for any of the outlets where you use it. I hope that I made videos slightly less scary, because I know for most people, it's an itchy place to be. When I say to a client, I need you to start a Facebook page and post on it, they're like, yeah! And I say, I need you to make videos and post them on YouTube, and they look at their shoes and hope I go away. But I'm not going away, because I know the only way for you to really connect with potential patients and to stay engaged with your existing patients is to tell your honest and true story, and video is the best way to do it. I'm Laura J. Nadler, and I can't wait to hear your story.
Laura, I loved that you gave actionable, real things that we can take and implement into the business right away.
Thank you.
I think people that are watching, that are here for CEs, it's great to get your CEs, but it's also great to be able to immediately create some impact and take action. I love that you kept it simple, but you also explained what was actually needed in each video. So it was not only informative, but simple, and made it so it's not so scary. Great job on stage, amazing presentation.
Thank you very much, I appreciate that.
Laura, nice job.
Thank you, Vanessa.
You're clearly comfortable with this material. It feels like you live in it, and so that we immediately buy in that you're an expert around that. You're very comfortable on stage. You have a professional appearance. It feels like you're just very comfortable and professional there. It was a smooth, confident delivery. That's important, for us to continue to pay attention and listen. Just relaxed overall and nicely done.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that very much. Thank you very much.
Let's get one more round of applause for all of our speakers. Weren't they amazing? That's such a great lineup. And now comes the hard part. The audience out there, I don't know how you guys are gonna do it, but you have to vote and decide out of all those great speakers, which one was your favorite, which is gonna take the crown for Dentistry's Got Talent. The voting link will appear on your Facebook feeds, so click it and then submit your vote. Judges, what do you guys think? I mean, any advice for the audience? Like, how are they going to choose from amongst these great speakers? What should they be thinking about in making this choice? Come on, you're the judges.
We were just talking about how difficult it is to actually choose because we were just saying how they all did such an amazing job. So my suggestion would just be which one really kind of hit your heart the most and go with that.
Absolutely. I'm feeling very inspired myself after watching all those speakers. It was fantastic. So any new viewers that are joining us now, we're about to start part 10 of Dentistry's Got Talent, part 10, okay? So there's gonna be a sign-up link. Make sure to sign up on that link if you wanna get your CE credit. It's gonna be live for about 10 minutes. You have to log in and sign into that link in order to get your credit. So we're about to start Dentistry's Got Talent, part 10. Click on that sign-up link and register for your CEs. Another big thanks to our sponsor that's making this CE event possible, NDX/DSG Dental Labs, the largest network of dental labs in the nation. Let's give them a big round of applause, please. They made all of this possible. And I reminded you guys about this before, but for any new viewers, please share this link, share this live feed to someone in your network, share it with one of your groups. Don't get spammy about it, but share it with 1 or 2 groups because we want to spread the love, right? Like, this is huge. Like, these are amazing speakers. This is a great opportunity for some free CE. Share the link. I personally, if I didn't know about this event and I had a friend that knew about the CEs, knew about all these great speakers, and they didn't tell me, I'd be kind of peeved off. So share the link to your groups, and let's get to it. Let's get to some more of these great speakers. With that, I will turn it back over to the judges. We got another panel of 5 more speakers coming up. Take it away, guys.
Course on clinical success, we will discuss the many aspects of clinical dentistry that incorporates dental trauma, dental hygiene, home care, and patient care. How do you become successful at it all? Learn the keys and techniques needed to achieve clinical success. Our first speaker will be Elizabeth Dewar-Anthony, and her presentation is Roots of Dental Trauma. Beth has been a hygienist for over 30 years. She's been writing and speaking about dental fear for over 20 years. She loves showing patients that dental care can be a good experience. She's also a singer and an actress. She loves to perform. The more people, the better. Beth is at her best in front of an audience. Please help me welcome Beth.
Thank you. I live for this. My name is Beth, and I am here to smash the legacy of pain and shame that dogs my beloved profession. But before we get to that, I just want you all to know that I'm not even supposed to be here, okay? I was supposed to be a rock star. All right, and in 1980 in high school, I wasn't the only one that thought that. Everybody thought I was gonna be a rock star. They're like, oh my God, Beth, I saw this movie with Bette Midler, and oh my God, she reminded me just of you. I'm like, oh great, the one where she dies on stage, wonderful. But you know, I had that bad perm. So there I am in my little Catholic high school telling my guidance counselor that, yeah, I'm gonna be a rock star. She's like, you might wanna have a backup plan. So I was like, okay, fine, I'll go to college. So I went to college and I got a bachelor's degree in English with a minor in, take a guess, theater arts. In 1985, I was working at a Pier 1 Imports, which is what one does with a bachelor's degree in English. And this really nice man came through the line and bought this Charlie Chaplin poster. I said, oh, I love that poster. He said, I'm gonna be hanging it in my office. I said, you have an office? Would you like to give me a job? And he said, well, as a matter of fact, we are looking for a receptionist. I was like, well, I just have wonderful phone skills. And he handed me his card. He goes, well, why don't you come by and we'll have an interview. He was a dentist. He hired me from that conversation at Pier 1 Imports in 1985. That is how I got into this profession that I still love today. And you know what makes me so sad is there's so many people I work with, people on social media that don't love what they do. They hate it. They hate it. They hate their jobs. They hate their life. They hate their patients. And you know what? I was one of those people. I was one of those people that would be in tears of frustration and rage by the end of a day because these people were not appreciating everything that I was doing for them. But I found a way out, and that's what I want to talk to you guys about today. So, dental fear. Dental fear is not inherent. It is created. And it's created by interactions with dental professionals. I have nursing home patients that can't tell me what day it is, but they can tell me about their visit to the Eastman Dental Dispensary 70 years ago, and they are fully prepared for me to yell at them because they didn't brush their teeth, even though someone just dragged them to my clinic from their bedroom or the dining room. The patient's emotional experience of their appointment is what matters to them. It's the only thing that matters to them. Maya Angelou said it best. They're going to forget what you did. They're going to forget what you said. They are never going to forget how you made them feel. If a patient has a negative emotional experience in your office, they're going to write you a bad review. They might even try to sue you. So the patient's emotional experience is task number one. Dental fear is not a phobia. Dental fear is post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. Dr. Stefan Braca called it PTDA, post-traumatic dental care anxiety. What does that look like? Let's talk about that guy, the one whose name on the schedule makes your stomach turn. We'll call him Brad. Yeah, I told you, we got to get this done, okay? I don't want you to take no for an answer. Yeah, no, we can't go any lower than that. Nope. All right, well, yeah, okay, I told you, put the pressure on him now. Well, I got to go, I'm at the dentist. Yeah, right, bye. He's a jerk, right? Well, in 1967, when Brad was 7 years old, his family dentist thought it was 1947, and he placed huge amalgams in his molars with no anesthetic and a low-speed belt-driven drill. He yelled at him, and he covered his mouth with his hand, and the dentist's hands were big and hairy and smelled like cigarettes. And I found that out when I spoke with Brad and not at him. When Brad opens the door to my office, he's that 7-year-old again, even though today he is a powerful businessman who gets things done. So PTDA is what creates this. Patients come in and they're in a defensive mode. See, a couple weeks ago, this lady came in and she had she had her headphones and she was like girding her loins, like this, when I called her back. I'm like, sweetheart, it's gonna be okay. And fearful patients, these PTDA patients, don't always present as fearful. As a matter of fact, hostility and belligerence are great fronts for fear. The best defense is a good offense, right? So if I'm reacting to their presenting behavior, the whole thing is going to spiral down. What I learned was that I am in charge. I'm in charge of my response. And what I've done is learn how to not take personally patient behaviors that are based in fear. You know, but I tried that. I tried the snappy comebacks. Excuse me, where do you work? I promise I won't come down there and tell you how to do your job. It doesn't help. The spiral goes down. It can go this way just as easily, and it's up to me. I'm the one that creates that environment, and the environment that matters is this, people, from my eyes to theirs. If you don't have this, you have nothing. How beautiful your office is, whatever institute you went to, how nice you are, whatever technology you have, doesn't matter if you don't have this. And it starts with me. And how I started was with self-care. And we're not talking about a mani-pedi, because I can have beautiful nails and still hate myself and hate anybody that I can't please. And everybody's talking about it this week, self-care, self-care. And the next thing everybody's saying is, don't do it alone, get help. I got help. Everything I'm telling you guys, I learned in the process of helping myself. I got in therapy. I got sober. I haven't had a drink in 24 years. And I live a daily program of recovery. And you know what? All of these things that I'm talking to you about, I learned them. That means that they're teachable. And I would love to teach you. Thanks.
Edutainment, I know. You don't have to wear a cat for me to have loved that. That was edutainment at its best. We were, at some points, we were really chuckling, giggling over here. You have got it going on with the whole entertainment side as well as educating us. We could just really feel your passion, and very compelling, and it was just stellar. I wrote down engaging, funny, fun to listen to. Your points were delivered with clarity, compelling, passionate. Thank you. Well done.
Thank you.
Truly a rock star.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay. For our next speaker, Dr. Stephen Wingfield will be presenting 5 keys to clinical success. How do you... Not quite yet. You're going to get 2 rounds of applause, apparently. So Dr. Wingfield has practiced the full scope of general dentistry for over 21 years, served as a U.S. naval officer, and is the current CEO of a dental service organization. Given his vast clinical experience, leadership experience, and knowledge of business protocols, he has worked with hundreds of dentists to improve team relations, delivery of care models, implementation of comprehensive periodontal programs, and practice profitability. Please help me welcome Dr. Stephen Wingfield.
All right. I want you to close your eyes. Let's take a deep breath in. Let it out. We're going to have a dream right now. Imagine yourself laying in your bed. You're not stressed out. You're actually sleeping. Your spouse is not about to have a nervous breakdown because you're driving them crazy. Imagine your children are actually excited at the fact that you're coming to their games because you're not completely unpresent the whole time. Imagine you've got your alarm set for 4:30 a.m. because you're going to make it to that 5 a.m. Orange Theory class. You can't wait to row that rower back and forth, run on that treadmill. You can't wait to lift those weights because you're going to be ready to start the day at 6:45 when you get to the office for your huddle. And at that huddle, your team, your hygienists, and your assistants have audited every single record. They know who needs photos. They know who needs treatment. They know what's going to happen today. And your front office, they're going to get you paid for it. Every account has been audited. They know who owes what. And the best part about it is that you get to be the dentist you've always wanted to be. Okay, wake up. The dream's over. We all know that this isn't exactly the way it goes these days. But I want to take the next few minutes. I want to talk with you about 5 things that you can do starting Monday to help you get that dream practice. We're going to use an acronym, SMILE. So when you leave here, you just think about smiling and think about what you can do better. The first letter is S for SMILE. That is a staff-owned practice and systems. You want this dream practice? Then you've got to invest in your staff. That is absolutely true. And they need to make your day run very smoothly. I had a mentor once tell me, you know, Steve, if things aren't working, you've got to blame a system, not a person. Those were some of the best words I've ever been given as a leader. Blame a system, not a person when things aren't working. Having the privilege of consulting in hundreds of practices over the years, the biggest system I see fail today in dental offices, especially general dental offices, is the hygiene department. You know, you hear all these words that they're the cleaning ladies or they're the hygiene queens. They want to clean the room and clean the teeth and clean the room and clean the teeth, and they don't want to do anything else but make $60 an hour. It couldn't be further from the truth. What they need is a system to be successful. That's where we come in as doctors. We have to give you that system. We have to invest in that training. We have to give you what you need to be successful. And you've got to use your staff to show you where the blind spots are so that we can improve. The next letter in SMILE is M, and that's for meaning or purpose-driven practice. I get asked this question a lot. Steve, they want me to do a mission. They want me to do a vision. They want me to come up with these core values. Does that really lead to anything at all financially for my practice? I'll tell you what we did in our practices. We came up with our vision together as a team, and our vision's simple. It's to be the neighborhood dental center of choice. And how does that create revenue for our business? I'll tell you how. We are community-made, not self-made. How are we community-made? We're in the community. We are quarterly doing some type of outreach, whether it's Children's Dental Health Month in February, whether it's the football soft mouth guards we make during the summers, whether it's a food drive around Thanksgiving or a coat drive in the early winter. We're in our communities. Therefore, our average practice is getting 93 new patients a month with a 74% Net Promoter Score. What does that mean? We're able to invest in more technology in our practices. We have CBT scanners. We have intraoral scanners. All of that leads to better health care for our patients, and we're able to do that because we're out in the community getting more new patients. The next letter in SMILE is I. That's for integrity. Doctors, team members, if you don't have integrity, you really don't have much in a healthcare space. I was recently in a practice. I was called there because the doctor was complaining that his hygienists weren't performing. And when I went into the practice, I do what I usually do when there's a problem. Tell me what's working, tell me what's not working. Simple leadership skills so you can figure out the things that need to happen. The hygienist set me down. There were 3 of them. They each had a laptop. They started pulling up x-rays. This was the not working. Pull it up x-rays. 3, 4, 5 root canals, 4 millimeters short. Pull up another computer. Crown margin, seeded last week. Crown margin, seeded last month. Crown margin, seeded last week. All open margins. Pull up another computer, recurrent decay. Overhangs in the fillings. Open margins on these fillings. They looked at me and said, how is he expecting us to provide quality care when he has no integrity whatsoever? He's fussing that we're not doing our jobs. We can't even do our jobs because of the periodontal health of the patients is tied directly to the restorations that he's delivering. You see, integrity spreads like wildfire. The next letter we're going to talk about in SMILE is L. That's for leadership. You want a successful practice, you want that dream practice, it starts with you. It starts with full-on commitment. I was in a practice one morning. They had an 8 a.m. patient. I was there for their huddle, 7:45, and I could hear these footsteps in the back, do-do-do-do-do-do, back and forth at the front desk, do-do-do-do-do, back and forth. And I started hearing this whisper, pss, 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 and it's getting louder. And then I heard the front desk lady yell, "It's not my job to make sure it's here." Oh, yeah, you know where this is going. I stepped to the front desk, "Is everything okay?" And looked out in the lobby. There's a nice patient waiting in the lobby with 20 beautiful temporary porcelain veneers. They're not porcelain, they were temporaries. And so they hadn't made sure the case was there. She had paid $30,000 for this case. She'd been in temporaries for 3 weeks. Who's to blame? Whose fault is it? This is what everybody in the office is doing. Doctor, if you're pointing at your staff, there's 3 fingers pointing back at you every single time. Every single time. Leadership matters. And here's the best piece of advice you may get this whole week. If you can't be a leader, or if you won't be a leader, you better hire one who's outstanding and be a stellar follower. Because A players want to play with A players. The last one we'll talk about in SMILE is E. And the E is for expect that patients want the best. You have to assume people are there to see you because they want the absolute best in healthcare. I was actually in a practice a few months ago, filling in as someone doing exams. And in this practice, there's tens of thousands of patients. The practice has been in the same location for the last 45 years. I walked in to do an exam. There was a late 70s-year-old lady there, very friendly, very happy, talking away, and I asked the hygienist, "Did you see anything you were concerned with?" She said, "No, not at all." So I sat down with the patient. "So, do you like your smile?" She just kind of looked at me. She goes, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Do you like your smile?" She said, "I hate my smile. I've hated my smile for the last 60 years, but we had 3 kids. We had, life happen. We had to put them through college. And then when I got older, no one's ever asked me if I like my smile." I said, "Well, would you like to change it?" She goes, "I'd love to. I'm going to my 60th high school reunion in 2 months, and I'd like to go there with a beautiful smile." So with that, we started her treatment. Because I didn't assume because she was 78, she didn't want to have a nice, beautiful smile. You have to expect that people want the best for themselves. That's your job. So really, this dream practice we started to talk about, that's there. It's available. Anyone can have it. You can absolutely get it. It doesn't matter how you cut that crown margin perfect every time. It doesn't matter that the contacts are just absolutely perfect each and every time, or that every piece of calculus is off the tooth. That doesn't really always equal clinical success. What does is persistence, perseverance, consistency, and focus. Those things will build trust with your team and with your patients. And trust is what people want. It's what they need. It's what keeps us all going. And don't forget along the way to spread a little joy on your journey. Thank you.
I love that you brought a cheering section. I think it's amazing. They're decked out for those that can't see them. I really enjoyed that you allowed me to pretend for a moment that I'm the doctor and not just an MBA. That was a great experience for me. Got to, live a little dream there for a bit. But you did a great job owning the stage. Obviously, you speak on this. You know what you're talking about. But you made it easy to understand. I felt like you were sharing a story and just kind of sharing a personal life experience and talking to me like what I should be doing as a friend. It didn't feel like, even though I could tell you've done this and you've talked on this, it didn't feel like you were just repeating it and you were bored. You were enthusiastic and you brought a great energy to the stage. Really enjoyed your presentation.
I want to add on to that also, Dr. Wingfield. You are the CEO of a DSO. And a lot of times, people, when they hear DSO, they think that just bad, all they care about is money. But you really, showed us that when we make a commitment to excellence, doesn't matter if you're a DSO or if you're a private practice, that is how you build a beautiful business. It is. And you can have a great profession. And one thing that I always remind my team of is if you want to be successful, you have to have the whole package. You have to be a good clinician. And if you're not today, it's okay, keep trying. Like you said, tomorrow you can be better, right? You have to have the good team. You have to have the trust, the integrity. You have to have the whole thing. And that's in any profession, any business. So thank you for reminding us of that. And I was just really inspired by your talk. So thank you. Great job.
Thank you all. Appreciate that.
Alrighty, our next speaker is Teresa Seamers, and she will present The Story of Plaque, Stop Telling Patients to Floss. Now, Teresa has been in dentistry for close to 20 years. She received her dental assisting and dental hygiene education at Coastal Carolina Community College in North Carolina. Years later, she completed her bachelor's degree through Mankato State University in Minnesota. She is passionate about quality patient care with an emphasis on individualized education. Please help me welcome Teresa.
Thank you for allowing me this opportunity to speak today. This is my first speaking engagement, so I feel blessed to be here, so thank you. So again, the title of my speech is The Story of Plaque, Stop Telling Patients to Floss. When I tell dental patients that title, they smile, their shoulders relax, and they're inquisitive. When I tell dental professionals, they cross their arms, tilt their head sideways, and give me the disapproving glare. But have you ever considered we've been doing it wrong? Well, at least I had been for over half of my career. And I've been a hygienist for 17 years. I've been licensed in 3 states. I've lived in 7 states. And I've practiced in well over 24 offices. Some think I'm a nomad, some think I'm military, and others think I'm running from the law. One of those is true. I'll let you decide. But in all seriousness, in all these places that I have practiced, 3 scenarios often play out. The first scenario I like to call the confessional. That's where the patient comes into the office, they sit in the dental chair, and right away they confess to you, I haven't been flossing. Why, just a couple weeks ago, I had a patient come in. She had a big old cross necklace on, marching her way to my dental chair, didn't even make it there yet, and was confessing to me she wasn't flossing. Sometimes I feel like there's more confessions that happen in the dental chair than in church. So the second scenario that I often see is what I like to call the canned response. The patient sits in the chair, they wait for you to ask, how often are you brushing and flossing? And their canned response is, not as often as I should be. Have you heard that before? And what does that really mean for us as professionals? The third scenario happens, but doesn't happen as much, thankfully. But this is where the patient comes in, sits in your chair and says, I don't floss, I'm not gonna floss, and I don't want your lecture. And really, in all 3 of these scenarios, and the patient that no longer comes to the dental office, what is it? It's shame. We've been shaming our patients, or at least I had been. I had been when I would say, if you don't floss, you're gonna get gingivitis. If you don't floss, you're gonna get periodontal disease. If you don't floss, you're gonna lose your teeth. And then I'd wonder why they came back and their confession changed a little bit. I scared them. And their confession would change to, I did really good for 2 weeks, and now I'm not flossing as much as I should be. You see, I felt like I was a trapeze artist. I was swinging from that first bar, trying to catch the next bar, and every time falling flat on my back, looking up going, what did I do wrong? I told them to floss. I told them what would happen if they didn't, and I was still missing it. And so I decided to step back and take an objective view. And I came up with 3 rules for my operatory. Rule number 1, it's not a confessional. No confessions allowed. Rule number 2, no F words allowed, unless it's to encourage or uplift. And rule number 3, I won't teach you by scary diagnoses. Coming up with these rules was good, but I still needed more. And I thought, what if patients actually understood plaque? So I came up with the story of plaque. And I started explaining in layman's terms what plaque meant to patients. And I started noticing a difference. And I thought, well, what if I wrote a book? So I did. Very simple book that I placed in my operatory. The Story of Plaque, stop telling patients to floss. Patients walk in, they look at the book, and they say, "You mean I don't have to floss?" And I say, "No. If you know the story of plaque, I won't have to tell you to floss. You'll want to." Right away, they want to know the story, and you probably do too. So we all eat food. We get plaque on our teeth. Plaque is living bacteria for 24 hours. That means if I took some off my teeth or your teeth, and we looked at it in a microscope, you'd see it crawling around like a little tadpole for 24 hours. After 24 hours, it hardens and dies. If it's hardened up underneath the gums, it's the same as having a splinter in your finger. Your body reacts the same way. It gets red, tender, swollen, and in your mouth bleeding. That is the definition of gingivitis. Gingiva is gums, itis means swelling. Just like the splinter in your finger, if you remove it, it gets better. Gingivitis is reversible. The story doesn't always end there, however. Think of barnacles on the side of a ship. It keeps building and building. Every time you eat, you get more living plaque bacteria. That bacteria is giving off just a little bit of acid onto your bone, causing it to slowly melt away. You don't feel it because bone has no nerve endings. What you notice instead as the patient is you smile and you notice your teeth are longer, you can see more recessions, and you have more sensitivity. This is called periodontitis, or you know it as gum disease, and it's irreversible. It's treatable, it's maintainable, but it's irreversible. When I tell patients this story, they often turn to me and say, "Well, where am I at in this story?" It's the perfect opportunity to use our evidence that we already gathered in that appointment. Radiographs to show bone loss, probes to show probing depths, bleeding, furcations, mobility, intraoral photos to show what's happening directly in their mouth, how it relates to them. I have found when I do this, patients are very compliant. And so I think of it like when I was trying to get into hygiene school, I had to take a chemistry class. And the chemistry professor had a PhD in physics. That means he was really smart. He had a hard time bringing it down to the chemistry level, which meant I spent many hours in the library breaking it down into bite-sized pieces that I could understand to pass that course. We, as the dental professionals, are the PhDs. We need to break it down for our patients so they understand what's happening in their mouth. I also feel like it's not enough to just break it down like that, but also a demonstration. How many of our patients have been handed a toothbrush growing up and that's it, and told, "Brush your teeth"? What does that mean? Imagine this, you're in a room, there's an instructor in the front of the class, you're all seated at a desk with a white sheet of paper in front of you. The instructor tells you, close your eyes, fold your paper in half, fold it in half again, tear off the lower right corner of that paper, flip it around 3 times, now draw an A in the upper left corner. Now everyone open your eyes and look at your papers. As you can imagine, everyone's paper is going to be different. It was all perception and very vague instructions. That's the same for brushing. That's the same for flossing. So it's our job to bridge that gap and to help our patients understand how to do this. So what I have done is I've given my patient a gift. I didn't scold them, I didn't lecture them, I handed them a gift and said, "This is where you're at, here's what you can do about it." And I will tell you, I am that trapeze artist that's catching the bar one after another, and that's why I'm here to tell you, like, do it, if you do it just a little different, it works. I have patients coming back saying, in 45 years, this is the first time I haven't bled. In 6 months, this is the most I've flossed in my whole life. This is the healthiest my gums have ever been. And so, if we've helped them to do something like this, just flossing, imagine the sparks we've ignited for them to do anything else. Anything is possible. And to end with a quote from an author, Dodinsky, "Sometimes people will hear you better if you speak with a voice of compassion instead of authority. They long to be understood and not lectured." And now I must go. It's the police. Thank you.
I think we can get stuck in our own habits and in our own behavior and almost kind of become victims of, well, I did everything I could, I tried the best I could, but it takes a true leader to step back, think outside of the box, and find new ways and new solutions. So I really want to acknowledge you for that. I think you are a leader. That's very clear. And I also want to acknowledge you for this being your first time on stage. You have a very strong presence. I enjoyed the scenarios that you brought forward, the new perspectives that you shared with us. I think everyone that's working as a clinician in dentistry right now needs to hear this message because it's so helpful. I loved how you incorporated humor, analogies, quotes. At the end, that kind of little skit, I think that was really, really clever. And also, excellent outfit choice. I think you made a statement.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, our next speaker will be Laura Pacheco with Home Care at its Best. Laura graduated as a hygienist in 2006 from NYCCT. She has worked in New York City at private dental offices, a neuromuscular dental office for LVI, and in a Hasidic community health center. Laura loves, in all caps, her profession and loves to treat periodontal disease. Please help me welcome Laura.
Hello. I'm gonna ask you a few questions for the whole dental office. Do you wanna have a full schedule? Do you want to have and build trust with your patients? Do you wanna be happy? Well, I am gonna give you some tips that is gonna help you to build that kind of a schedule. My name is Laura and I am a healthcare provider. I've been practicing hygiene for 15 years. And honestly, I don't clean teeth. You will say, what? Well, let me tell you, I'm gonna take you to this journey of a 45 minutes that I have with my patients. The patient comes, I put him on the chair. Of course, I review the medical history and all that. I put him in the chair, I sit, I check, I open his mouth, he opens his mouth, and I start looking for something that it will tell me about that patient. I look for any lesions, I look for plaque, I look for calculus. Well, I finally find something, and it's usually in the back. What is that? A big chunk of plaque. I take my camera, I take pictures, and I have my tray. And on my tray, I have the most important instrument. It's not a scaler, it's not a curette, it's not a sickle, it's my toothbrush. With my toothbrush, I start checking and brushing. And I said to my patient, well, I found something. You're brushing, but you're missing this spot. The patient just realized, really? I just brushed today. You're right, it's in my mind. You're right, because I saw a whole wall of tartar in there, and I saw a lot of plaque, and it looks like the patient didn't brush since last night. Okay, so I grab the camera, I take pictures, I give him the mirror, I show them, oh, you're missing this spot, you have to brush more on this area. The patient realized, oh yeah, that's true, it's bleeding. Yes, it's bleeding because that area is inflamed, it has a disease. Really? Yes, it has a disease, so let me clean it up, and I'm gonna show you how to brush. I show the patient a technique in that moment. The patient sees it, and I made them use the toothbrush. One thing is for me to do it, but another thing is for the patient to use the toothbrush and to use it on the area that is inflamed. Well, for me, it's a satisfaction to see pictures of before and after. And that's my backup. My backup is to show the patient, look, you were like this, and now you are like this. My goal is to put the patient on a healthy stage. My goal is to treat the disease before it becomes worse. Gingivitis, everyone has gingivitis. Sometimes we notice it, sometimes we don't notice it. That's why it's important for the patient to come. The insurance says twice a year. I said more than that. So with my patient, going back to the patient, I take time and introducing what is that the patient has in their mouth. I didn't even touch my instrument. The doctor come interrupt me to do the exam. After a few minutes, what I have left is 15 minutes. I already took x-rays. The doctor did the exam. I'm putting my notes in the computer. I have only 15, 20 minutes left. Am I gonna rush to finish to clean the patient's mouth? There has a lot of stuff in there. What I do, I say to my patient, look, there is a lot of going on in your mouth. I'm gonna try to do that as much as I can, but you have to come back so we can treat you. I don't wanna hurt you today. I'm gonna just be gentle around the gum line, because if I go deeper and remove that buildup that you have under the gums that is making all this inflammation, it's gonna hurt you, and I don't wanna hurt you today. Patient said, no, thank you. I don't wanna be hurt. I don't want you to hurt me. I hate pain. I said, yeah, that's the reason. That's what I'm gonna do today as much as I can and come back so we can do a deeper cleaning, which you need more than a deeper cleaning. Says the patient, okay, thank you. I go, I use my cavitron. I go supragingivally and clean up those areas. After that, I grab the toothbrush, my favorite instrument, and I start brushing again on those areas. The patient spits, see all the bleeding, all the junk that is coming out from their mouth. What happened next is I bring a chart, and you know I am a visual person. Charts tells me everything. You can talk to me for many hours, and if you don't show me something, I won't get it. I have to see it. So I created a chart for the patient where you see healthy and not healthy. And that is that knockout for the patient. The patient will accept the treatment. I know, because I've been reading the patient. I've been telling him, I've been educating him. I've been showing him what is wrong in his mouth. So I told them, listen, this is the chart. This is how you look right now. I just clean up all above the gum line. Next time when you come back, I have to numb you, because I don't want to hurt you. And when you are numb, I'm going to go deeper and I start scraping all that tartar and bacteria that you have in your mouth. But I'm not only going to clean that tooth. After I clean that tooth, I'm going to use my laser machine. I'm going to kill the bacteria that is in the gum that is not healing, because both works together. You're going to have some sensitivity. I'm going to put some desensitizing there when I finish, so you won't feel sensitivity to cold. If you feel sensitivity or something else, then I can put fluoride around it, so you won't have cavities on the root surface. So the more my office have, the more I gave to my patients, because I know it's going to work. I believe in medicine. I believe in science, and that's why photos are very important. So, going back to my patient, after I showing the chart, the patient is impressed of what is going on. I'm not in a rush. I took my time. I asked him, what is the best time for you? The patient said, well, I'm available this time and this time. I just scheduled the patient on that moment, and the patient is done. After that, he says, is the insurance going to cover for that? I said, honestly, I don't know. I am here to help you, because I know that you have a disease. I know that I can make you healthier. You are not on the healthiest stage right now because you need help. But after, once I do the deeper cleaning, once I remove all the bacteria, you're going to be able to clean it up better with a water pick, with a flossing, or with any other things that I will tell you how to do it. And the patient says, okay, but the insurance is going to cover? I said, I don't know. I'm just telling you what you need. He says, okay, it has to be done. It has to be done because I don't want to be sick. After that, the patient, I didn't even take the time to go over other things like I wanted to go, you know. Time is like now, right now, you know, and I want to leave this right now by telling you to please take time with the patient. Home care is very important. Home care should start on the patient's chair. not giving that back to the patient and tell them, okay, I'll see you in 6 months. Because whatever hygienists do right now, they clean their teeth, the patient's teeth, and after that, patient won't come back. And the patient only come back with no education in the back, just come back for another cleaning and for another hygienist who will do a simple cleaning for them. You know, the knowledge that I have right now is because I went outside my comfort zone. I traveled, I went to different offices, and all that gave me what I am right now, a healthcare provider. Thank you.
That's on me, all right. We're rotating through here, but we kind of jumping around a little bit. Laura, I really enjoyed your presentation. You have great stage presence. It's been really enjoyable to hear from speakers who are so passionate about what they do, and so they get it, having you be able to share that with all of the people taking the CEs and for all of us to really be able to help them help their patients better. I thought you did a great job at really explaining how you demonstrate so that hopefully people can immediately apply that into how they practice, and really how you take time with the patient so that you can set them up for success once they leave your office. I thought you did a great job on your stage presence. You managed your time well. Overall, a fantastic presentation.
Thank you. Thank you.
Our last speaker, last but not least, I think this is our last speaker of the competition, am I right? Will be Sarah Varney, and she will be sharing with us the expanding talent of dental hygiene. Now, Sarah has worked full-time as a clinical dental hygienist for nearly 3 decades. Sarah has an executive MBA from the University of Notre Dame, we've heard of them, and a Bachelor of Science in Dental Hygiene from the Fones School of Dental Hygiene. Sarah is the founder and CEO of DSO Hygiene Excellence, a national organization that serves to build excellence in dental hygiene. Please help me welcome Sarah Varney.
Thank you for the introduction. I'm thrilled to be here today speaking to you. I'd like to set the stage by opening with a Stephen Hawking quote from his book, A Brief History of Time. Hawking in his book explains the no boundaries condition, the idea that the universe is finite but has no boundary. The same exact concept correlates to the profession of dental hygiene, finite in nature but without boundaries. Today we're going to go through an exploration of the expanding talent of dental hygiene across 5 core pillars of leadership, diplomacy and teamwork, dental medical synergy, clinical excellence, and business excellence. I like to think of these 5 core pillars as a hierarchy of needs. We can look at it like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and we can look at it from the foundation being leadership, and then moving through diplomacy and teamwork, dental medical synergy, clinical excellence, and business excellence. So let's unpack that. Leadership. We have to let go of our limiting beliefs about what leadership is. Everyone is a leader. We're not told this in hygiene school. No one in hygiene school tells you, you're a leader. You come out into practice, you're very unlikely heard that you are a leader in practice either. But we all have a leadership style. I encourage all of you to take a personality assessment test. And you can do a DISC, a Colby, a Myers-Briggs, or a Leadership 360 profile. But understand your leadership style so you can leverage your strengths and work on growth opportunities. I encourage you then to have your team at your offices take the same personality assessment test so you can share with each other your results and you can grow each other and help leverage your strengths. We look at leadership in all kinds of ways. One of the most important things we need to look at with the leadership is understanding that we all lead. And what does leading look like? I love the acronym L for listen, to understand. E, empathize, which will motivate you to act. A, ask how you can support. And D, deliver to the best of your ability. Moving up to the next stacking skill set, we look at diplomacy and teamwork. Gone are the days of the hygiene siloed and the hygiene diva. We need to understand that hygienists, you are leaders in your practices, you co-lead with your doctors. You just sit down with your doctors and ask them, what's your vision for the practice, and how can I support that with you? What are the action plans we need to put into place? What are the key metrics that we need to be looking at to be accountable to those goals? And then bring your team into that conversation. Share with your team the goals and the action plan so you all can be accountable to your patients, providing the best optimal care. As all conversations, conflicts can arise. So hygienists, you need to come into the conversation with some conflict resolution skills. Whether that's a polarity map or some of the other conflict skills that are out there, you need to bring that to the table as a leader. Help your office navigate through difficult conversations. And understand that healthy teams and teamwork is your competitive advantage. Think about any sports team that wins championships. I'm in Chicago, so it's the Bulls for me, or it was growing up, but they have solid teams and healthy teams. They know in their team, everyone has their back, they're all there to support each other, and that is team excellence. Moving up to the next skill set, we have dental medical synergy. And again, the move here is that hygienists, we are dental medical healthcare providers. We see our patients more than any other healthcare provider. We spend 60 minutes with our patients twice a year. We're taking their blood pressures. We're doing their medical history updates with them. We're doing oral cancer screenings with them. And the expansion here is into a lot of the chairside testings. So if you're not already doing it, look at things like sleep apnea testing. We can very easily give our patients a questionnaire. There's a lot of good ones out there. Look them up, learn about them, share them with your doctor, and bring your team into the conversation. Same thing with chairside salivary testing and point of service blood testing. These things are coming down the pipeline. We're going to be able to capture people's C-reactive protein levels, HbA1c, and share them potentially with the medical community and their providers. So make sure that you're doing that. Moving up to the next skill set level, we have clinical excellence. And please, if you're still doing periodontal charting and writing type 1, type 2, type 3, it's time to expand. There's a lot of information out there regarding the 2017 Periodontal Guide to Staging and Grading. If you're not familiar with that, get familiar with it. There's a lot of resources out there. And again, familiar yourself with the new staging and grading, share them with your doctor, share them with your team, get everybody on board about how you're going to do risk assessment for your patients from a periodontal perspective. Along with risk assessment, you should be tracking numbers in your practices as it relates to your hygiene department and your services. Are you identifying risk factors for your patients, and are you mitigating them? Tracking these KPIs, I know people don't want to do the numbers, they don't want to be in sales, but the reality is it's not sales, it's risk mitigation and identification for your patients, and that is our responsibility. The final pillar at the top, the final skill set, is business excellence, and it's time to get down to business. Hygienists, we need to look at our hygiene departments as a business within a business. We are accountable to the profitability of our hygiene departments, and truly only we can move the needle on our hygiene departments being successful. And an unsuccessful hygiene department is bad for your practice, and it's bad for your patients. If you're doing everything right for your patients, from leadership to teamwork and diplomacy, to the dental medical synergy, to clinical excellence, the numbers will be there. Those numbers just tell you that you're doing all the right things for your patients. So understand your numbers. Again, track KPIs in your hygiene departments to ensure that your hygiene department is successful against national benchmarks. So wrapping back to Stephen Hawking's quote about the no boundaries condition, I hope you understand now that as a hygiene profession, while we may be finite, we are not with boundaries. So hopefully you can take what you learned today here and expand your talent.
All right, I think we'll have, wow, hello. I think we have time for a couple of us to share our thoughts. And so it's been amazing watching all of the speakers and really enjoyed as you brought yours and your unique perspective to it. I loved the idea of that a healthy team is so important to win. You had I love your pyramid of success there that needed to happen, and with business excellence being at the peak. You had a great stage presence, delivered great content, really enjoyed it.
Thank you. I love the statement that everyone is a leader. I think that you are really in this speech presentation raising the bar for hygienists. And I think that you did that in a way that was very organized, very well thought out, really giving people, like hygienists, a system to follow to be able to take their skills to the next level. So really well done.
Thank you. I'll go too. Good work, Sarah.
Thank you.
You highlighted your points really effectively. And thank you for sharing those. I thought those were really strong principles, and you felt like you had a clear structure and a clear delivery. It was easy for us to follow. Your appearance is really professional, which is an important piece of this. And you're clearly passionate about your topic. So thank you. Good job.
Thank you.
I really like that you are highlighting the importance of the hygienist role in the practice. Because I feel like a lot of doctors now, especially new doctors, they're saying, do I really need a hygienist day number one? You know? And the answer is, of course you need a hygienist day number one, because your hygienist is what helps sell your treatment and confirm to the patient, you know, they trust the hygienist almost more than they trust the doctor the first time they come to your practice. Mm-hmm. So I love that you really brought that to light, and overall you did a great job.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
All right, awesome speakers. One more round of applause for all of them. Let's hear it. And with that, we've reached the end of our programming for today. So thank you for sticking with us. The voting for the best will begin, so check the link to vote for who you want to receive the crown for Dentistry's Got Talent. Thank you to the judges for being an awesome panel today. Thank you, guys. And all the live audience, please make sure to join us tomorrow starting at 8 a.m. to find out who the winners are. Thank you again for joining us. This is Trey Tepichin, the CEO of Cloud Dentistry, signing out. Thank you. To the sponsors, NDX DSG Labs, the largest network of dental laboratories in the nation. None of this would have been possible without them. So thank you to our sponsors. Another round of applause to them. And with that, we will take it out. Let's go hit the beach.
Hey everybody, welcome to Nashville. And what is this Nashville event all about? Well, first off, I can tell you this. When you purchase a ticket for the Dental Festival in Nashville, you'll be purchasing a ticket that allows you to go to up to 20 different dental conferences. These conferences are usually located all throughout the country at different times, but we've brought everybody together at one place to collaborate. So we're gonna be at the Omni Hotel, the Joseph Hotel, and the Tri-Brand Marriott hotels. Those hotels, literally, you step out the door and you walk across the street. They're all there. And what it looks like as an attendee is each day you get to pick the conference that you want to go to. You only need to purchase one ticket and you get in to all of them. Another really cool thing is that we believe that fun is extremely important. We believe that you learn 10 times faster when you're having fun. And so we believe 50% should be education and 50% should be amazing fun and experiences that you will never forget. So welcome to the Dental Festival in Nashville. So here's what I'm gonna tell you. This event is the 6th through the 10th of July in 2022. And if you wanna come for 2 days, 1 day, 3 days, or 4, that is completely up to you. Same cost of a ticket, and you just pick the conferences that you want to go to. It's totally up to you. We have a central vendor hall where everybody could go and learn about all the different products and innovations in dentistry, and we have separate conferences throughout the entire event that you get to choose from. So whatever you want to be educated on, I'm sure that we have it. Make sure to get your ticket as soon as possible. The sooner you purchase your ticket, the cheaper the ticket will be. And please remember, if you don't like fun, this conference is not for you. But if you like to have the time of your life, Dental Festival is for you. I will see you there.